Hey, I'm JD. Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and please hit like. Today we're looking at the Crosman 1322 pellet pistol that I have. And as you saw in a previous video, I added a folding stock to it. And you can see this baby as it folds out. It's actually really nice. To add the folding stock, I had to put a Picatinny rail on the back of this. So I installed the Picatinny rail. It screws in top and bottom. And then this folding stock I got from Vancouver, Canada. It's actually made in China. It's a pretty good quality stock. I believe it's aluminum. This part's aluminum. This part is likely 3D printed on the back end of it. And this is a mix of 3D printed and there's magnetic parts. And on this particular pellet pistol, I added the Plumper pumper that I purchased off Buck Rail from the US. Great big pumpers, so if you pump a lot, it's easier on your arms. And then I have a red dot scope on the top here, but I'm planning on replacing this one or just changing it out occasionally with a different type of red dot scope. It's a little less fuzzier, the dot's less fuzzy. The other thing I did with this is I added a steel breech. The original breech kind of ends here and it's plastic, and this is a steel breech which gave me a Weaver rail on the top to add the red dot scope. This is a Weaver rail as opposed to a Picatinny rail, so it was a good add-on, and it's a steel breech, which is really nice too. So this is quite a good little squirrel hunting device, or whatever you want to hunt with it. I'm into target shooting, not hunting anything, but if the apocalypse came and I had to go eat squirrels, I'd probably use this. So what I want to do with this today, though, is the grip. I want to work on the grip. So I had my friend Gilles, and he 3D printed me this grip, which is really nice. It also has two plates, one on this side and one on that side, that you add, and there's a little tab in there to tuck it in. And he's printing the plates. They're going to be red, I think. Now the problem with this is that when I fitted it in, I unscrew the handle here, the grips here, and these grips are kind of cheap. They're hollowed out and they're cheap. When I had this, I kind of mangled this up a bit in the bottom. It had a very thin sheet, but that sheet on the bottom prevented this from going all the way up, which didn't allow me to align the screws. So today I'm going to take a bit of tape and put it on the bottom of this, and then I'm going to use, and try to use, see if this works, Gorilla wood filler to actually fill part of the back end of this, and maybe put a little material on the top here that I can work on just to smoothen it all out. So, because you can sand it afterward. I hear from 3D printing guys that wood filler actually works. So we're going to see today if I can fix this mangled mess on the inside and fill this up properly. So the first thing I'm going to do here is unscrew the handles, the grips here. And it's pretty simple. These are bolts actually, so it's a nut and bolt configuration. So this would be the bolt part. So they're threaded here. And I could see when I put the handle on the first time, there was a little bit of a mark here, meaning the grip was down and over just a bit. Just put that aside, and this is what it looks like. This is the trigger spring here, so you can see that pushing down a bit. It's a pretty tight spring in here. And then flip the gun over and try this side here. Just undo that and just pop the thing out with the screw in it. So I don't need to adjust the screw. So now I've got this metal, very thin metal grip here. So what I want to do is I'm going to slide this on, and then once I slide it on, I'm going to be putting the wood filler in here, but I don't want it stuck to here, so I'm going to mask this. I'm going to get some masking tape and mask the end of this just a bit, a tad, as they say. So I'm just prepping the masking tape here, so I don't need a lot of it because I'm not going to put a lot of filler where I'm going, so I just needed just a bit of masking tape like that. And then I'm hoping is always a good thing when you're doing stuff like this. So I want to make sure this is the right thickness. So I need to place this right on top there like this. Sorry for blocking, but, and then just bring this around the back and tuck that in like that. So there we go. So that's all I pretty much need for the masking tape. And this is so when I pull the grip out, it doesn't stick. So now I want to put this grip on, and it goes on like this. It's going to look much nicer once the material is in here, but it goes on like this. There's a couple of tabs here. There's this one here where the screw hole is, and that aligns with the slot right there where my finger is. My fingernails are for guitar playing, by the way, that's why they're long. And then there's two slots up top, and they're aligned with these two knobbies here. So that everything kind of, when it sits in place, this thing doesn't move at all. But what I want to do here is organize the camera so you can see how this thing goes on. So I'm going to do this on my lap here and put the camera like that. So it goes in like this, and then I know I've got to take this off. There's no way I can do this with this on, so I need to take this off because it won't clear it. So let's just remove this first. And I need myself an Allen key to remove this properly. So I think this Allen key works. So just loosen this up here. And I know when you loosen it, the other end's got a double jaw, kind of grabs it. And I have to just loosen it enough for this thing to release like that. So that's all I do. And that makes it really easy to put it back on later on. And once I have it off like this, I checked these screws yesterday too to make sure everything was tight, and it is now. It wasn't before. So now I can just clear this through the edge. So I just put this on like this. and flip it the other way because I was used to putting it on this way. So flip it this way, and now this is going to raise up above the first tab. So put this between my legs like this and just pull it out a bit like that, and now it's raised above the first tab, and now I can push that forward into position. So now that is pretty much as far as it's going to go, and I can see the screw hole through the hole. So if you look through there, you can, I can't show you I guess, but you can see the hole through there, which means the screw holes are aligned, which is nice. So it's just press a little further and these are snugged in like that, and that's about as good as I can get it. So now I've got to prepare and just fill this in, and I probably only want to fill it from here over, but there's a lot of material in there, so let me see what I can do to fill this up. Alright, I got me a big, I think these are called trowels, but anyway, a big trowel. This was my dad's. He doesn't need it anymore. He doesn't do much troweling. And then I've got myself, like I said, this Gorilla wood filler. So I'm going to clip the end off this or poke a hole in it, one or the other. I'm not sure what will work better. If I can poke a hole in it, it's probably a little easier. It'll come out a little more controlled. Alright, it's starting to go in here, so the hole has been poked, but I don't think it's big enough. Yeah, I think I may just cut the end off of it. Cut the end off with a knife or poke a bigger hole. What do you think? I think I'll just cut the end off with a knife here. This will make life easier, I think. Just gotta watch my fingers when you're cutting. Always cut away from your hand. And there's that hole, so it's pretty thick. Alright, it's all done there. And is it going to come out, or do you have to pop something? Nope, it's coming out. There it is there. So I'm going to be able to fill that up in 1 second. Alright, so here's the goop. Made the hole in it. So I'm ready to put the goop in the gun. Ready to put the goop in the gun. And I really don't know how this is going to go, by the way. This is just trial and error, but I want to get a lot of it into the hole here so it hardens up nicely. And just push it in. I think I just squeeze it, and it's kind of a pasty thing, so it's gonna squeeze into the hole and then get pasted. Yeah, this isn't coming out very fast, but I didn't expect it to. It's going to take a lot of pressure to get this stuff out properly. It's kind of filling up the hole here. Just gonna, oh, there we go. Look at that. There we got some action now. Now I know I can sand this and stuff, so I want to push it down as much as possible. And it's non-toxic, which is perfect. So if I just push it down into that gap, get as much of that stuff in there as I can, right? Just put out a little bit more here. I want to pack it in. I think just using my finger like this is probably the best method of doing it. The stuff on the end, once it's hardened, I can get rid of it later on if I want to. I'm not too concerned. It's also a good filler, right? So it can fill up. There's a little hole right there that I can fill up with this. That'll smoothen it out nicely. So there we go. So that's pretty much almost done, I'd say. Now I got this trowel here. Is this going to work at all? I know Sonny Morehouse is probably watching this and saying, this guy can't use one of these. And he does home restorations, so I look like an idiot. There we go. That's nice. I think that will do, because I probably want to, when I finish this off, I want to end it right about there anyway. So I'll just, but this stuff here, put a little bit more in here. Because I'll be sanding this down after. And it was an online video that showed me that this stuff actually works pretty good for 3D printing gap filling. So I'll leave it like that for now. And then I know that on the end here, there's a couple of uglies on the end here I'd love to fill. So I think I'll just put some stuff in there and use my finger to push it down. And probably when I take the handle off, it's going to crack or something, but for now that'll do. There's one, and this will be painted anyway. Pick some up from my watchmaking mat here. A little bit more. I'd rather have more and then just be able to scrape it off later. Here we go. Let me put the lid on this so it doesn't dry up too fast. Do I have enough on here? Do I have enough on here? I can put another little bit of a layer on here just to make sure that it's well covered for sanding. Let me see if I can just spread this like this. think that's good right there. Because when that hardens, I'm going to be sanding it anyway. And I'll sand it right up to the edges here. I don't know if this is... I know it'll fill in these cracks as well too. So maybe I want to put in a little on the edges here. It just fills up the inconsistencies I have in the printing. And when I pull the gun out, this stuff will move anyway. There we go. It's good enough for now. So there it is. And remember, I'm going to be slicing this off right about here, and this will all show. This will all be cleaned up and sanded, and we'll see whether this works, whether these guys were telling me the truth or not, right? So there it is. There's the back end one, and there's this one, and it'll be sanded smooth for painting. So there we go. So thanks a lot for watching my video today, and more fun!